Visit dollarinvestmentclub.com to begin your journey towards a brighter financial future and harness the power of compounding. Advisory services through Lee Baldwin and Company.
WTLA North Syracuse, WSGO Oswego, W249BC Mattydale, W261AC Oswego, WTKWHD2 Bridgeport, ESPN Radio.
Fran Brown this, Fran Brown that.
If you want me to take a lie detector, Brian, I'll take it.
Portal watch this, Portal watch that.
The dog Mama Duke. People say I like that dog.
What are you talking about playing walk-on? Who do you think walked onto the team?
Anybody that thinks this is going to come back is either naive or plain stupid.
All across CNY.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
It's the 315.
Hardy faking, feeds the crease. Jameson got it!
He scores! Woo! Here's Brian Higgins.
Oh, what's up on this Thursday? All across a snowflakey central New York. Glad to have you in. Kiss. Utica. Rome. What's up, Rome? Wherever you are. Out and about today. Wherever you are. Out and about anywhere on Q Sports Talk, QSportsTalk.com. Live as always on the Q Sports Talk YouTube page. Oh, we are everywhere, baby. Come on, join in. Here, there, wherever. Phone lines available to you throughout the show. Talking hoops, talking football, talking whatever's on your mind at 315-437-7644. That is for ESPN 44. What do we got cooking on today's show? Next hour, it is Thursday. We'll be joined by Chris Brown, voice of the Bills. Just bonkers Bills game on Sunday, the 44-42 loss to the Rams, in which Josh Allen literally did things never done before in NFL history with 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns in the same game, albeit a loss. Later this hour, we want to play America's favorite game. Why you? Why should you go to the Syracuse-Georgetown game? We got tickets. I got a pair. I think how we want to do this today is I need somebody to help me maybe introduce somebody new to the Syracuse-Georgetown rivalry. Give me a reason why on that. We'll do that later in the show today. So start thinking of who needs to, realize why Georgetown still sucks, because it's 402. Yeah. Find that person in your life, and maybe we can get some tickets in your mitts coming up later on in the day today. So we got all that coming up. Much, much more. Portal Watch. We'll see what's going on. Maybe something will happen during the show today. Maybe breaking news in the Portal Watch. You never know. You never know. That's not a tease. That's just hopeful. Nothing's much happened in the portal today, but we'll keep our eye on that. We'll save that for later. And, lots of stuff to get into today. Cuse Georgetown is coming up in 2 days' time. Looking forward to that. Kyle McCord playing in the bowl game. Definitely looking forward to that. We'll have a bowl preview special 1 week from today, 2 o'clock on Q Sports Talk. We're actively arranging guests and folks and excitement for that coming up next Thursday, 2 o'clock. Q Sports Talk, QSportsTalk.com. So with that, welcome into the show. Phone lines open most of the first hour at 315-437-7644. Talking Buffalo Bills next hour with Chris Brown. They're getting set to play the Lions this weekend. What a game that should be. Both teams better than my Giants. Just a little bit better. Just a wee bit better than my New York Football Giants. With that all said, let's get things started here today.
We start with a Burdick BMW opening drive.
Oh, let's get that last rev into it here on a Thursday. Is today Thursday? It is Thursday. It is Thursday. You kind of, once the college football season, regular season ends, we lose our compass a little bit of what day of the week it is. Basketball's got midweek and weekends, and there's the holidays coming up and all. Where are we? It's Thursday. It's Thursday, and I'll tell you where we are. This dropped last night, live on the 6 o'clock news on CNY Central. Syracuse graduate one Megan Coleman sidled up to one Kyle McCord, who was there doing some charity telethon work last night, and this transpired.
My phone's been blowing up. Everybody wants to know if you're going to play in the game.
I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing, yeah.
It's official. It's official.
Ring the Salvation Army bells, hop in the kettle, whatever. Kyle McCord. That, as much as Fran Brown, mostly said it at his press conference on Monday, Fran also said whatever you wanted him to say. You could have read between the lines in 98 different directions. There's not a lot of line reading in I'm playing. I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing. I'm playing.
That sounds. I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing. I'm playing.
That sounds pretty.
I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing.
Yeah, I'd say
I'm
wait.
Playing. Yeah, I'm playing.
I think he's playing, people. I'd say that's rather if you
I'm
say
playing. Yeah, I'm playing.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty definitive. Again, that was on CNY Central yesterday, part of their Salvation Army Christmas time telethon deal, which Kyle McCord and members of the football team were there doing their part for a charity and whatnot. Megan Coleman with the questioning. We did also learn during that telethon, due to the fact that he was wearing a sling while answering the phone, that Dan Villari is unfortunately out injured and will not play in the bowl game. You wonder how many others are out there that have nagging injuries that will preclude them from the game. Felt like Villari was just beat to crap all season, but man, he is a tough SOB and gutted it out, and obviously had a significant role as the number 2 tight end to Arande Gadsden on the team this year. But Kyle McCord playing. Fran Brown said, we don't opt out here. Well, the number 2 in Fran Brown's program, as stated by Fran Brown, not offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon, not defensive coordinator Elijah Robinson. The number 2 in Fran Brown's program is the starting quarterback. The starting quarterback is Kyle McCord, and Kyle McCord's got one more game to start. And we look ahead to this Holiday Bowl coming up in 16 days' time, 15 days' time. 15. Today's the 12th. The game's on the 27th. Math. 15 days' time. A.K.A. it's 2 weeks from tomorrow night out in lovely San Diego. They'll be spending, we just got part of their itinerary for the bowl. They'll be spending some of their Christmas Day out there at SeaWorld. So shout out to whatever number Shamu we're on right now. Free Willy. Am I right? But I'd say, as far as Syracuse fan interest in the actual game, in the actual bowl game, if it didn't just pick up for you with that I'm playing from Kyle McCord yesterday, if it didn't just spark a little bit for you with that yesterday, I don't know what to do for you. Because I know some people would have rather seen Florida or, would have rather seen a better opponent. I am among the crew that was hoping for a more interesting opponent than Washington State. Though Washington State, the more you look at them, they've got some interesting stuff going on. It's just that we don't. I don't know about you. I didn't watch Washington State play 1 second of football this year out there in the Pac-2. Somehow I missed all Pac-2 action this year. What was I doing? Can't believe I missed the entirety of the Pac-2 season. But that all aside, all my complaints, and would I have preferred the Gator Bowl versus Ole Miss or the Anything Bowl versus Alabama or whatever? Yes, of course. But after this season of Syracuse football, year 1 Fran Brown, only year Kyle McCord, the Orange going 9-3, and now Fran, he didn't quite say it, but he said it. The team, we know the team's goals all year, right, were win the conference, make the playoffs, all that stuff, and they didn't do that. And Fran has said all year, I don't care about being ranked 23rd. We want to be ranked first. It kind of, you hear all that. It kind of weaved its way through some of the stuff Fran said on Monday that the team has a new stated goal now, and that's to win 10 games, a.k.a. go win the bowl game because it gets you 10. That was not a stated goal earlier in the season. It is now. And when Fran Brown and this team seem to state goals, I'm not saying they all become true, but they seem to really believe in the idea of the goals they are stating. That bowl games, what do they mean in this day and age, especially if you're not in the playoff? Who knows? It's different to every team, every player, every situation. But by stating clearly internally that 10 wins is a desired outcome, which means they want to go win the bowl game, this game is now, as a game, not as a reward, not as a trip to San Diego, but as a game, is now being viewed as officially important within the team. Which means that we get to see Kyle McCord play one more time. Which means that we get to see Kyle McCord go after the ACC single-season passing record. Tim Leonard and I chatted about this the other day. Kyle McCord right now, 12 games played, 4,326 yards. Deshaun Watson, he played in, I believe the number was 15, 12 regular season, 13 ACC title game, 2 more, and winning the Natty in 2016 for Clemson. He passed for only 267 yards or more than that. So if Kyle McCord throws for 268 yards 15 days from now, he would pass Brennan Armstrong, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, and Deshaun Watson and become the ACC single-season all-time passing leader. Also, if he were to pass for 268 yards in this bowl game and stop right there, it would be the fewest yards he's passed for in any game all season. He's been over 280 literally every game. He's been over 300 in 11 of the 12. He's been north of 350 in 7 of the 12. And in the last 2 games combined, he blew past 400 in one of them into 480, and he threw for 380 in the other. So he's been, darn near 900 passing yards here in the last 2 games combined. So I'd say it's by far more likely than anything else that Kyle McCord will set in his lone season in the league the ACC single-season passing yardage record. That's cool. I don't know if it's a stated goal for the team. I'll state it. That's cool. Let's go do that. Let's go do that. Now, with McCord playing, regardless of what Washington State is bringing to the table, because I know the world of college football was a little different back in 2018. It's not that long ago, but as fast as the sporting world turns here, especially in college football, it does feel ages ago. That 10th win was extremely important to Syracuse that year at the Camping World Bowl. That bowl game was not that important to the opponent as it played out during the week in West Virginia. Their quarterback didn't play. Their head coach, Dana Holgerson, was essentially out the door to Houston already. But it mattered to Syracuse, and they showed up and they won the game, and it mattered. And do we look back at that game and give one flying rip whether the other team cared about it or not? No. So I think this, if Kyle McCord goes out and has one more legacy performance for Syracuse, and the Orange beat whatever it is that Washington State puts out on the field, looks maybe like their quarterbacks, that there was rumors he was going to transfer, but that has not come to pass as of yet. He's one of the best dual-threat guys in the country. Holiday Bowl has a history of wild and crazy games. If both these quarterbacks play, say what you will about Washington State, this could be a wild and crazy game. Could be a fun game. And one more chance to watch Kyle McCord in a Syracuse uniform. And man, that's fun. I think we should embrace that idea of this game over anything else. Yeah, and heck, if Kyle McCord's going to play, and you're on Syracuse's roster, who are you not to play? Hey, who are you to opt out if he's suiting up? Now, maybe there'll be some around Gadsden. I don't know. But who are you to sit out this game if he's going to play? Like, you think Marlowe Wax or Justin Barrett is sitting out this game if he's stepping up and playing? It would stun me. Stun me. Like, we're to the point now where I'd be shocked if, like, maybe Arande does. I'd be shocked if anybody else straight opts out of the bowl game. Now, maybe there are injuries or surgeries you want to get taken care of or whatever, that it's better to get done sooner than later. That information will come out in due time, if there's any of that. And usually at the end of any football season for any team, there's some of that. And sometimes it's just better to get it done, miss the bowl game, and start your rehab earlier and whatever. But if McCord, who's been everything to this team this year, and a building block to the future of the program, even though he'll not be here, if he says he's playing and you say you're not, who the heck are you? Get on out there, go win 10, and leave a mark. And I think that's where the focus of this Syracuse football team has adjusted over the course of the week, as that is our Burdick BMW opening drive for today. With that, let's get a check on how the market's closed on this here Thursday. And for that, we bring in our guy Mike from Lee Baldwin. All right, Mike, how'd this Thursday go for you?
Little weakness, Brian. We saw some selling in the afternoon. All three major averages closed down a little over 0.5%, so nothing too dramatic, but not a great afternoon. We had a few diamonds out there. We're going to go with an old school company. I think you've heard of before, Apple. Apple has been up 9 straight days. It's one of the longest streaks it's had in the history of the stock.
Wow.
So it's around $248 a share. All-time high, and it just keeps going and going into the year-end here. Dog, we had a few dogs out there. We're going to go with Adobe. That was the biggest percentage loser on the S&P today, down about 13%. Or $75. That was almost a $500 stock. They reported good sales last night, but the forecast was a little weak, not as good as what was expected, and a pretty good hit for Adobe. Hopefully we can close out tomorrow with a little momentum. We're waiting on earnings from Broadcom tonight and Costco, so we'll see how they do and how they affect the market tomorrow. And that's it for tonight, Brian.
Well, I got good news for you, Mike. I helped Costco's earnings just this morning, so I think you're going to be in good shape going forward here. Thank you, Mike. There he is.
I like to hear that.
And there we are. Yes, we've helped it out significantly. There's Mike from Lee Baldwin with all the diamonds and none of the dogs. I ate an apple earlier today. I don't know what that had to do with Apple stock prices. It was delicious, crisp, tasty. I believe it was a gala. I don't know how this helped the stock prices, but I'm clearly involved in the market. I'm dabbling in Apple, Costco, the whole thing. I'm there. I'm swimming with the big fishes. All right, let's take a break. Phone line's open, 315-437-7644. You want to talk football? You want to talk a new tradition at the Holiday Bowl? Which, man, are things traditions when you just declare them so? We'll talk about this next. Will Fran Brown be involved and potentially sticky? Getting to that. Your calls, give away some Georgetown tickets, Q's Georgetown tickets in a little bit with another rousing edition of YU. Chris Brown talking Bills next hour, all good stuff. We're back after this on a Thursday. It's Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
Wednesday.
Did I heard Adobe? Yeah, I haven't really been looking at a lot of PDFs today, Tronic. It's my bad. I don't know if I've looked at a PDF all day long. There you go, San Diego Q's. I didn't go to Costco. I just helped them out on the app. Hey, it's Mike. And what's Mike doing over there? Mike's picked up the air hockey board. You know how some people are undefeated? I'm defeated. I'm all-time defeated. All time. Another edition in our battles to one. Will Brian ever score a goal? Or is this just going to be the saddest compilation ever? Maybe I could properly actually.
Oh, I double barred it.
How did that not go? That would have been bad.
The ridges of this rink are not regulation.
Okay. Wait, the lighting on the side is kind of spectacular.
Oh!
Oh, what? How did that go in? Oh, finally!
You had me up against the wall the entire time. That was good.
We're no longer all-time defeated. We have a win. No longer the Washington Generals. We do need to get a tiny screwdriver though, because the battery case keeps. See if Backer has a tiny screwdriver.
Okay.
Because look at the battery case.
You came out swinging there.
Yeah, we weren't going to be all-time defeated.
You came out strong.
Though realistically, both of our first shots should have gone in.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like we didn't have a tiny screwdriver when I was putting in the batteries last week, so I was screwing it with not a screwdriver, and it was.
I'll be back.
It was a little tricky. Yeah, like if he's got like a size 0 or size 1 screwdriver. Philip said, "I know my screwdriver sizes." Well, children, yeah, screwdrivers or screws on children's toys often are battery enclosed, so my size 0 screwdriver gets a workout. Hello. Cajun slam grass. Yeah, I hope you cleaned up, Alphabet Guy. So I had the proper motivation. Is Jesse Ventura involved? Hadn't he been like in some kind of behind-the-scenes feud with WWE? He's back in the fold. How old is he now? Is he like 80-something? Should I be worried that Cajun Slamgrass has sent a test message? Sounds vaguely threatening. Yovendo was checking out the YouTube. No, Buckets. College basketball lines generally either drop night before or morning of. 73. In wrestler years, that might as well be like 187. Oh, it works, Cajun Slamgrass. Welcome. Yeah, those two are classic. Yes, Phillips head is the type. We need a size 0 or size 1 Phillips head screwdriver is what we need. It's a tiny screw. Cookout's outstanding, Dom. Love Cookout. All right, rolled along here on this Thursday, a blustery Thursday in the queues. Phone lines open and available to you at 315-437-7644. We know our next caller knows the number for that. We got Scooter on the line. What's going on, Scoot?
A couple of things, Brian. That I don't know how many games were played before the 74-75 season with Georgetown. That I went down, that they played in the Rochester Classic. I think it's called the Kodak Classic, I think. And the teams that were in it were Rochester, Dartmouth, Syracuse, and Georgetown. And there's supposed to be a layup for Syracuse, and they paired them against Georgetown in the first round. I think they're going to beat them, and they're hoping Rochester will probably beat Dartmouth and be Syracuse or Rochester in the finals. Didn't work out that way, sort of. Both teams lost. Syracuse lost to Georgetown, and Rochester lost to Dartmouth. So they did meet, but it was in the consolation game.
Okay, I actually had the series up earlier because I was looking at something. Yeah. Scoot, so you're at this game, you're saying, Scoot, in Rochester?
74-75. Yeah,
okay, that was so Saturday is the 100th all-time meeting. Yeah. You were at the 16th. You were at meeting number 16. Yep. There we go.
Wow, they played 15 times for that. And, yeah, I wasn't sure because no one ever heard of Georgetown before that. And like I said, and of course, I could have sworn Coach Boeheim and Coach Thompson had their first meeting at midcourt a couple times in that game, too. So, yeah, first of many, let's put it that way.
I'm going to assume, Scooter, you were not at the February 15th, 1930 meeting, which kicked off the series, won 40-18 by the Orange. Box score unavailable for that one. Go figure.
Yeah, I think that was during the Depression, I guess, right? Wow.
I mean, like, right at the beginning of it. I mean, yeah, February 1930, yeah, the stock market hadn't been crashed for very long by that point.
One quick point about that I was talking about Orange Nation. Dartmouth had a player, I think he's the MVP of the tournament, named Jim Beattie. I don't know if that name resonates a little bit, but he actually pitched for the Yankees in the World Series in 77 or 78. So we actually saw a star in the making. Turning the transfer portal stuff, and Brian, I'm old school because I grew up where players didn't opt out. I mean, to me, they just played. I mean, you go back and look at all the Heisman Trophy winners, I don't think anybody really opt out. No. In fact, I'm impressed with Bryce Hall. I remember a couple years ago, I think it was the Cotton Bowl, they played Kansas State, Alabama, and he actually played. And there's the same scenario. He's not playing. he ended up playing. But just to me, I wonder if, when you talk to Eric, if he would opt out, or even, Donnie McPherson. I mean, just to me, you played, and you can get hurt in any game. The Holy Cross game, I'd be more worried because I know sometimes that if somebody's getting clobbered, sometimes there's some cheap shots involved. You go back to the undefeated season. We had a point guard named Ted Gregory, who ended up being drafted by the Denver Broncos. He had a great game, Penn State, the game before, and he was having a great game against Colgate, and he got double teamed. That you couldn't do that anymore, chop block, and he tore up his knee and ended up having knee surgery. He came back for the bowl game, but people were wondering why he was in the Colgate game that long. But you can get hurt any time. To me, I didn't know when the bowl was actually more problem you're going to get hurt than any game in the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say the risk of injury in a bowl game is not higher than the other games. I remember going back to the Camping World Bowl with Dungy. Like opting out didn't cross his mind for a second, and obviously he wasn't going to be an NFL draft pick. It always blew my mind, right? Like Will Greer was a mid-round NFL draft pick for West Virginia. I'm like, wait, Will Greer's opting out of this game? What? Who's Will Greer to opt out of this game? I just found it peculiar at the time to see something like that.
I was just going to bring that up. It was a crazy thing because we're all talking, hey, this is going to be good. Now, I understand right now the Washington State quarterback is in the game. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean,
right now?
As of yesterday, I didn't check today here. This is not an opt-out situation for him. There was rumors he might enter the portal, and that had not happened as of yet. So his number 2 wideout entered the portal yesterday, but I haven't seen anything about their quarterback entering the portal as of yet.
Yeah, because right now, for entertainment purposes, at least in the state of New York, unless you have ties, I would take the over. Both teams are quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, if this guy's playing, this John Mateer guy. Yeah. He's a true dual threat. So like, if he plays, both these teams are going to score. Like offense ahead of defense in this game, clearly, I'd say.
Yeah, if you look at Washington State, of course you're a West Coast guy like me, most of their over-unders have been near almost, I think a couple are in the 70s. I think they played New Mexico. I think the over-under was 72 or 73. But if you want to go back and actually scout the Washington State, pull up the Boise State-Washington State game. I believe they were undefeated going into that game and maybe even ranked in the top 25. The AP, the other poll hasn't been out yet officially. And you're going to see Washington State actually move the ball pretty good. And you might see maybe the best run for a touchdown all season. Gentry took off, broke containment at the line of scrimmage, outran basically the whole team about 70 yards, and then had to drag another guy 7 yards into the end zone. And if that wasn't a Heisman moment, nothing will. I know Travis Hunter will win it probably going back. But if you look at Gabriel, I believe, is invited from Oregon.
Yep.
And if you look at his season compared to McCord, he struggled at the beginning of the season. He struggled a little bit against Boise State, and I was surprised he was one of the 4, I guess, because he's Oregon.
Yeah, under quarterback of number 1, I'd say regardless of stats, generally gets you an invite. I guess is that I'm sure let's see what were Gabriel's stats by the end of the year? I'm sure they were pretty good in his 6th year here of college football.
His third season.
Actually, yeah, I'd say his stats are very comparable to McCord's, give or take. He's thrown for 3,600 yards, 28 touchdowns. So McCord's are actually better than his when you look at that. But obviously, 13-0 versus 9-3 is the difference there.
Yeah, I just wondered. I mean, I'm just shocked, to be honest. Every year, if you go back, look at the Heisman that I believe Klinger and Andre Ware won from Houston.
Yep.
Basically, that was his stats. That was pure stats. They ran the run and shoot offense. In fact, one of them, if you look at the 30-on-30 on SMU, I think they were trying to score 100 in that game. I think one of them played in that game.
Yeah, like Ty Detmer and Andre Ward won back-to-back Heismans when people still didn't know what like passing was, and they were two of the first to just sling it all over. Like they won it on great stats on mediocre teams, and then I think people were like, "Yeah, we're done with that. We need to see some wins to go along with it."
But I tell you, I'm looking forward to it, especially both quarterbacks play. But that's what I meant about people opting out. I mean, it never happened. I mean, never thought. And I first noticed it. And the biggest bowl was maybe 3 years ago when Ohio State is playing in the Rose Bowl. And that's when you actually saw Marvin Harrison Jr. for the first time because
all their wideouts,
all the receivers, all the wideouts were gone. And I'm sitting there going, if you're going to opt out on the Rose Bowl, what's your goal? I mean, what is your goal the whole season?
Right.
And we always talk about they eligible for the bowl, but my God, if you're going to opt out on the Rose Bowl, I mean, that's just to me, it's unheard of. I mean, like I said, you go back. I'm trying to think of probably from 1990 to up to a couple years ago. How many Heismans opted out of their bowl games or players that caliber? I never heard of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it just wasn't a thing until recently, and now add in the playoff and certainly the hype around the playoff. It's become a thing here in the last few years, and thankfully Kyle McCord is playing, so we get to watch him one more time. All right, Scoop, thank you as always.
Okay, all right. I just had one more quick thing if I could.
Yep.
I'm looking at it, and I didn't know about it until when after Boise won. The semifinals are all in bowl games. So would you rather have an extra week or actually have a home game? Because it seems though when the quarterfinals are, you're not actually gaining anything. I thought the buys was a buy plus a home game, and it isn't. You're playing on neutral field, so these teams are going to be off for almost a month. And you got at least one teams are going to at least be playing before that. Would you rather have a home game and not a bye, or a bye and just go in the quarters on a neutral field?
Yeah, I mean, I still think you take the bye because you don't want to have to win 4 games to win the national championship. Mm-hmm. That said, you'll notice Notre Dame was very happy because they don't play a conference title game, so they're like, well, it's the same total games, and that's their stated reason out loud. The unstated reason is probably the real reason that Notre Dame's like, we're going to get a home game almost every year based on our schedule. We're going to make so much money off this home game that it doesn't matter. Like the 4 teams hosting games this week are just going to stack up cash because that is all new money. And you look at the secondary market, those tickets are going for crazy prices. Like, and you host a first round game, you're making money. I'd hope going forward they change it so that the teams getting a bye also get to host. But they're still, like, everyone's still too cozy with these bowl games because they're using, like, random other bowl sites to host the quarters and the semis. And that's big wig suits and whatnot making money behind the scenes. So it's going to take more than nothing to change that. But I'd love to see that change going forward.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you, Scooter. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought the first and second round are home games. No, the only people that are hosting, it's very weird. In a 12-team tournament, the 4 schools that get to host games on campus are seeds 5, 6, 7, and 8. It just doesn't sound right. And I'm cool with them hosting this week. I just also think part of getting the bye is that seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 should host next week, and then you can neutral site for the semis and the finals going forward. We'll see. It's early days. It's all still evolving, but why is that not happening? The same reason that the whole thing's happening in the first place. The answer to every question of all time. Money. Is there a follow-up question? No. The answer is money. If you ever wonder why something is happening in college football, the answer is money. Whether you can figure out where the money's coming from or going, that's a different situation. But if there's ever something happening that doesn't quite make sense, the answer, 100% of the times, is money. All right. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to do something that is going to cost you literally no money. Until you get there and, you get thirsty or you want to park or something like that. But as far as getting in the game, no money. I got 2. I got 2 tickets, a pair of tickets, Cuse Georgetown, 100th meeting, Dome, Saturday. Line them up on the phones. We want to get 3. We want to get 3 on the lines at 315-437-7644. We're going to play YU. And, you know how we do this. You call up and you give me a sob story about why you should get to go to the game. Here's the twist I want to put on it this week. I need a legit Syracuse Georgetown reason. Give me cool story of a Cuse Georgetown game you were at. Give me you want to take your kid who's never seen the Syracuse-Georgetown rivalry before, and you're going to introduce him to that. I need a Syracuse-Georgetown reason for why you deserve to go for free on us to the Syracuse-Georgetown game on Saturday. You can do that. Tickets are yours. 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Line them up. We'll do that next year. It's Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Yeah, hey, Jack Swarbrick's no dummy, Cuse Vegas. Like, none of that was done by accident. He's like, yeah, we don't need a bye, but yeah. Like, and he knows, like, if Notre Dame goes 11-1, 10-2, they're going to make the playoffs, and more likely than not, they're going to host, and they're going to stack that cash. Smart on him. Good for him. Were you at that game, T. Murphy? Legitimately, that's the first Syracuse game I legit remember. I'm certain I watched it. Did Klingler win the Heisman too, Steve? I think Klingler won the Heisman too, didn't he? Yes, he did save the Bengals. 100%. David Klingler, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. David Klingler Heisman. Sure, he got votes. Was he a finalist? What was his last year in college? 1991. Ooh, wow. 1990 threw for 5,100 yards, 54 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. Back when nobody knew about interceptions. All right, let's look up 90 Heisman, 91 Heisman. 1990 Heisman. Oh, so Detmer won in 90. What did Detmer do that year? Detmer throw for a million bajillion yards. Klingler was only fifth. Oh, that was the year Rocket was the runner-up. Okay. Now give me the 91 Heisman. What's going on in the 91 Heisman? Not even in the top 10. That was Desmond Howard's Heisman. All right. '92 Heisman won by Gino Toretta. What a ridiculous Heisman. Marshall Faulk should have gotten that Heisman. Marshall Faulk was ridiculous in college. Yeah, Houston and BYU. Yeah, you're right, Steve. They were the same. Andre Ware won in 88, 89. Oh, yeah, I don't know what he did last week, but I remember John Thompson getting triple technicaled and Syracuse shooting 10 free throws in a possession. Yeah, Andre won in 89. He threw for 4,699 yards, 46 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Indiana running back Anthony Thompson second. West Virginia QB Major Harris was third. Some guy named Emmett Smith was in seventh. I wonder how it worked out for him. The Toretta Heisman was just like, that Miami team was unbelievable, but it wasn't really because of Gino Toretta. Oh, Vito's one of our contestants here? Okay. Yeah, Ken Dorsey was better than Toretta. Who won that year? Was that the year Crouch won the Heisman? It's like people like Ed Reed should have won that. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look up. 2001 Heisman. Crouch first, Rex Grossman second, Ken Dorsey third. 2002 Heisman. Willis McGahee fourth, Ken Dorsey fifth, Carson Palmer won that Heisman. Brad Banks from Iowa second. Remember the random year Brad Banks was good at football?
One five. Here's Brian Higgins.
Silent would make for a tricky radio show. All right. We got 2 tickets to the Cuse Georgetown game on Saturday. It is the 100th all-time meeting between Syracuse and Georgetown. A nice round 100. We got 2 tickets we want to give away. We want to play our favorite game, Why You? You need to convince me, and more importantly than me, you need to convince the chat. We've got the chat up on the Twitch. We've got the chat up on the YouTube. They are going to be my jury on this to help decide who gets this pair of tickets. I need a Syracuse Georgetown reason why you deserve to go to the Syracuse Georgetown game. I don't need, I just want some tickets or that would be fun. No. You give me, like, I was at this game. I remember that moment. I'm trying to introduce this person to Syracuse Georgetown. You give me something good. Give us something good. Syracuse Georgetown. We need to know why Georgetown still sucks and that it's 441. We need to know things like that in order for you to go to Syracuse Georgetown. So come up with something good, and we're gonna compete. We got, what do we got? We got DJ in Cicero, Noah in Liverpool, and our guy Vito in Liverpool on the line to compete for these tickets today. We'll start with DJ. All right, DJ, welcome into our favorite game here. Convince us why. Why, DJ? Why should these Cuse Georgetown tickets head your way?
Well, I would love to show my son what a game with Georgetown would be like. He has actually been watching some YouTube videos of older games with us in Georgetown, and I just think it would be absolutely amazing. He's been dealing with some mental health issues. He was locked away for almost 60 days in a local mental health hospital here in Syracuse, and he's finally out for the holidays, and I just think it would be great for him to experience a fantastic game like this is actually going to be. Like, I grew up, my uncles had season tickets. Unfortunately, he's passed away, and I've gone to quite a few of the Georgetown-Syracuse games, and I just think they're phenomenal, and how loud the Dome could actually get for a basketball game, I want him to actually experience something like that.
All right, DJ, I think you've hit every possible note that usually wins this. That's a lot of things. We're wishing you and your family the best. I'm going to stay on hold. I'm going to pop you back on hold. You're clearly the leader in the clubhouse because you're first up. That's going to be tough to beat. We're putting DJ on hold. We're bringing in Noah in Liverpool. All right, Noah, good luck topping DJ. What do you got? Why should we give you the Syracuse Georgetown tickets here?
Yeah, that is pretty tough to follow up there.
Yeah, good luck, Noah. Give us something. Good luck.
So I'm 23 years old, and I've been an SU fan since I can remember. It's all because of my grandfather. He brought me to games ever since I was little, and now I'm like the biggest fan. And I think it'd be really, really cool to bring him to an SU basketball game because usually he brings me to games, and I've never been able to bring him to a game because I'm young and poor. So there's my sob story. But I've also never been to a SU Georgetown game in my entire life, and I've always wanted to go. So.
Okay. That's normally a great case. No, do stay on the line. We may have I think DJ may still be in the lead, but don't hang up. No, we may have to do some extraordinary things on the show here today to see what we can do. We're going to put Noah back on hold, and all right, our guy Vito in Liverpool. Hey, Vito, give us a reason why you, Vito, need some tickets for Cuse in Georgetown here.
All right, so yeah, I'm on par with the first caller. My 16-year-old nephew is in town, and I take him to a game every time he comes. We went to the SUBC football game. I flew out there. He's here now. And the nature of my business, I had to give up season tickets years ago because I don't know when that's going to hit me, and I can't go to a game. So I'm always buying singles for these games, which I planned on doing. The other problem is it's been a little bit of a depressing week for me, Brian, because I've had too many accusations from people saying I look like or I am Luigi Mangione.
Uh-oh.
And I need something to cheer me up.
Okay, well,
so that'd be good to win something.
Okay, so that's good. We're glad that you're not Luigi Vito. That's not good with the biggest news story of the week.
Yeah,
all right, Vito, we're going to put you back on hold here and deliberate, but stay on the line. Don't hang up. So we've got our guy Vito. We know Vito, Noah, and DJ. All right, so Vito wants to bring his nephew. I like Noah wants to bring his grandfather. Like, DJ's going to win here, but I will say this. Nobody hang up. We actually have more than a pair of tickets. I was planning on giving away only one pair. I'm going to steal. What does Mike Veely always do when they're doing the, it's not from a chair anymore. He always did it when it was from a chair. It was from, I think they do it from a bed now for the Duncan Bright thing at the Dome. He always does. It's the holiday season. Let's give them one more shot. And then they generally proceed to miss the shot. Here's the thing. It's the holiday season. I'm feeling generous. I liked all of their stories, though, just for the sake of historical accuracy, for how we're doing this, DJ was going to win those tickets. But for the sake of our generous spirit here in the 315 and the fact that we do have more than one pair of tickets right now, DJ, Noah, Vito, all of you, we shall spread the love. Everyone stay on the line. All three of you are getting a pair of tickets. Thank goodness nobody told a completely terrible story because it would have been embarrassing to only give two of you a pair of tickets. DJ, Noah, Vito, all of you are going and spreading the Syracuse-Georgetown history at the game on Saturday. Why? Because it's 4:46 and Georgetown still sucks, and you all need to tell people. DJ needs to tell the younger generation, as does Vito. Noah's sharing it with his grandfather. It's the holiday season. Everyone's happy. Thank God we had a lot of tickets. If we only had a pair of tickets, just again, DJ won. I'd like Noah, Vito, you're lucky we had extra tickets and we're feeling generous. DJ won here. You guys lost. But generosity, holidays, spread it. Georgetown sucks. You know the deal. All right. With that, we'll take a break. When we come back, well, the phone lines will be back open in a second. We gotta keep everyone on the line to get them their tickets. But call in, whatever you want to talk about, 315-437-7644. Belichick. We haven't really gotten into the Belichecking of everything yet. And our guy Chris Brown will join us next hour to talk Buffalo Bills. 315-437-7644 to chime in. We're back after this. It's Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
Friday the 27th, the Syracuse.
Bye, Gavendo. Well, it seems it would have been overly mean. Vito does not work for United Healthcare. I have met Vito once or twice. He does. I don't want to say he looks exactly like that Luigi guy. It's closer than he'd like. It's closer than he'd like. But yeah, it would have been aggressive to not give Vito tickets, but to give them to DJ and Noah. Yes, I have been to Prime Steakhouse. I have been, I'd say many times at Buckets, with the very strong caveat that while I've been many times, I was not, for a variety of reasons, I was not paying many of the times I was there. Yes, that would have been funny, Mike. Prime... To echo what we were talking about Prime earlier today for one reason. Prime is good. I like Prime. We like Danny, their owner. The food is good. It's overpriced for what it is. You just got to know that going in. But you're going to get a good steak. They've got like a lobster mac and cheese on their appetizer menu, which is good. It's good. It's just, I don't know. I haven't looked at the menu recently to see what the prices are currently. It's probably 20, and again, the restaurant business is hard, blah, blah, blah. It's probably 20% more than it should be in Syracuse, but it's good. You'll enjoy it as long as you're aware that you're going to be spending. Friend is paying. Well, Buckets, go enjoy. Yeah, friend is paying. You love it. Like Coach Q, we know he's very popular in Syracuse these days. Like Coach Q, I think may have lived at Prime Steakhouse the amount of times he was there. So a lot of women's basketball, like season-ending or during like holiday or season-ending events would be at Prime, of which I got invited to them. And therefore, I got to eat at Prime a lot without having to pay. And the year we did Q&A, the Coach Q and Red Autry show, because one was Q and Adrian starts with an A. Clever name for a show. It was at Prime Steakhouse. So therefore, I oft got to... and it was at the dinnerish hour, so I would get food and not have to pay for it.
Are you a big steak guy?
I like steak. Would I say I'm a big steak guy? No. Like some people are like, steak is the best food on earth. No. But like I'm not going to poo-poo a trip to a steakhouse. I like steak. Buckets is going to Prime in the chat.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, which is very... tonight, and his friend is paying for it.
Oh.
Yeah. I've heard that's the best way to go to
And that's what I'm saying.
I just want to say,
Jordan, you should go meet them at Prime.
Right?
It'd be like, hey, Buckets and Buckets' friend, I'm Jordan.
Hey, friend of Buckets. I just want to say, I don't care what the chat says. Vito made me laugh, so Vito deserved it too.
Vito made me laugh, and I feel very bad.
Vito came in with a good strategy where he did have a story, but then he came with the comedy. Like, he came with a punch at the end, so... Realistically, I'd say Kev's about right. Like if you're going steak for each app, sides, wine maybe or whatnot, like you're gonna blow past 200 for two people, but that's okay. What are we talking? Prime?
Prime, yeah. But if you know that's what you're getting into, like you're not gonna be like, oh man, the food stunk. The food's good. It's just in Syracuse, it feels like the prices are closer to not Syracuse prices than they should be.
Is the Brazilian steakhouse still open?
Texas State Brazil?
Yeah.
Yes?
I don't know. Have you been?
I went there once when they first opened.
That place is electric because they just keep bringing you meat.
Oh.
Yeah.
We used to go, and I always found this crazy. When the women's hoops played in Louisville, we'd go to a Brazilian steakhouse there the night before the game, which just seems like a crazy thing to do the night before you play basketball. Yeah. But I didn't have to play basketball. I just had to eat.
They got like every kind of meat.
Yeah, you just always keep the sign on. Yeah, see.
See, the problem is the first time you go, you kind of got a game plan.
You do, because they trick you with the salad bar because they all have elite salad bars.
Oh, I skipped the salad bar.
Like, you want to dabble because they do have a really, like, they make an elite salad bar to fill you up, but it's also, they got a lot of good stuff. Not the salad, but, they got good stuff. They got a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Here's Brian Higgins.
Okay, back at it here. Oh, man, we've done our holiday good deeds. We're slinging tickets. Merry Christmas to us. We're a regular Santa Claus over here. Orange Nation may have another pair of Cuse Georgetown tomorrow. We have a few given away. We're generous folks, but that was a good edition of Why Me, which always takes a weird turn towards slightly depressing but heartwarming and dark comedy. We covered all corners of the earth on yet another rousing edition of Why Me for Cuse Georgetown tickets today. It's Cuse Georgetown, man. Like, I get it. Is it what it was? No, it's not. Will it ever be what it was? No, it won't. Like, there's not a shot in hell Syracuse Georgetown can remotely approach the heights of what it was back in, the late 80s into the 90s. It's literally impossible for that to ever happen again. That said, people are like, should you play it? Should you not play it? Yeah, come on. Keep playing it. Keep playing it. Who's it hurting? Like, it's not a bad game. I get Georgetown has struggled for a while, but clearly, a lot of that was, it slid under the end of John Thompson Jr. And Pat Ewing, Patrick Ewing was not a good college basketball head coach. He just wasn't. They were terrible. Now they've hired a good college basketball head coach. I presume they're going to get better, and these games will have a little more meaning. That said, would I also like to see... Syracuse is playing Maryland at the Barclays Center in a couple of weeks. All right, that's an intriguing game. I'm not disinterested in that game. That said, instead of that, what I'd rather see is Syracuse play a road game. Again, does this year it matter where things are going? Not necessarily. But I'd rather Syracuse play a road game in the Garden against St. John's than play a one-off neutral site game at Barclays against anybody. Now, the tournament they were in, that's different. Like, you can't replace a tournament like that with a one-off at the Garden. But I'd rather see a one-off at the Garden at St. John's than neutral site there versus Maryland. Now, are there reasons these things happen in contracts and this and television? Well, yeah, there's plenty of reasons that stuff happens. And could you mix in, UConn? No, be careful mixing in UConn these days. UConn, Nova into the general thing? Yes. But 20 league games, you start make 20 league games, you got 31 games, 20 league games, 2 or 3 game tournament every year, ACC, SEC every year. Now you're up to like 24 games, Colgate, Cornell. Now you're up to 25, 26. Add in like a Lemoyne every now and again. Again, you're at 27. Adding a couple games to make sure you're not playing just Murderers Row every year. You're at 28, 29. Like, you run out of room to sneak these games in real quick. People are like, why can't they do all this? You could. Your schedule would just be, legit bonkers every year if you did it. That said, I'd say Syracuse at St. John's would elevate above, I don't know, Syracuse, Maryland, even though nothing against Maryland. Maryland's a good team. That game's going to be legit hard. They're, I think, top 25 in the net right now. But talk about all these tournaments seem to end up at the Barclays Center now, so Syracuse doesn't get play at the Garden. Well, the one way to get in the Garden is just go play at the team that plays in the Garden. Plus, when you get to seasons where net matters and all that, that's now a road game, not a neutral site game. So, that's a thing. That's the thing. But not for this year, but just something to keep in mind. Something else to keep in mind. Go to Lights on the Lake. Do it. Do it. Is there a light snow falling? Maybe. I don't know. It's dark out now. It opens in 4 minutes. That's a perfect combination of times to go to Lights on the Lake. When it is dark out and when it is open, which is going to intersect in less than 4 minutes. Get your tickets in advance. It will make your life significantly easier when you arrive at Onondaga Lake to drive through the 2 miles of Lights on the Lake. LightsOnTheLake.com. LightsOnTheLake.com. Get your tickets by the carload. Check it out as per usual. Like, you live here, you got to do it once a year, right? Come on. Like, what's the point? What's the point if you don't? I just don't understand it, Hides, get a hot dog, the whole thing. Do it up nice. All right, we'll take a break. Hour 2 next. We got to get a little Portal watch, though there wasn't a ton to watch today. And Chris Brown talking Bills. All that in Hour 2. After this, it's Q Sports Dog and ESPN Radio.
This is...
Yeah, like, I have no interest in playing St. John's in the Dome. Like, I don't care about St. John's. Really. Not like UConn or Georgetown or Nova. UConn and Georgetown specifically. Like, I don't want a home and home with St. John's. Just straight road games there. Get to play at the Garden. Don't have to worry about setting up some cockamamie, neutral site game. That's what I root. St. John's at the Garden. Keep the Georgetown series. Mix in a UConn or Nova every now and again, and I'm happy. I don't need to. I don't need a Seton Hall game. You're playing Pitt. You're playing BC. I don't need Providence. Who am I missing that I don't need? I certainly don't. I'm certainly not missing any of the new. I don't need a DePaul or a Marquette series. I don't know, San Diego Q's. Getting a quarterback this quickly. Like, you only have it done this quickly if you had it done in advance. Like, they didn't have McCord done this quickly. It's not that I feel the need to schedule St. John's. It's just like, that's a great way to get down to New York City. Go play them in the Garden. It's not about playing St. John's. It's about, it makes sense for Syracuse basketball to play in the Garden. I would, yes, I've heard all the same rumors everyone has heard. I just do not believe that will actually come to pass. It would be great. I would love to have McCord here for another year. I just don't believe push to come to shove that'll happen. They play, that's the other thing. Syracuse basketball is, they've played in the Jimmy V before. It's a lot. Like, on things you have control over, at least some, if St. John's wants to do it, it's a lot easier to just go play St. John's than like those tournaments all rotate around. You're not going to find one of those tournaments that plays in the Garden every year. That'd be fun, Govendo. Get the OG Big East back together. Yeah. The one tricky part would be I did not actually see the list, Buckets. Tim Leonard was telling me about the list yesterday. I forget how many he said were on it. It's a good crew, right? Spallina was like 6th. It's tricky because there's so many from different leagues. Like, can you find 4 that are in different leagues right now? Or you could just do it not a tournament. You could do a double or triple header, right? You could pick a couple that are in the Big East. You know, BC, Pitt, Cuse versus UConn, St. John's, Nova, Georgetown, whatever, and just rotate the matchups and do it in the Garden. Something like that, kind of like they do with that Champions Classic thing every year with Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, and Michigan State. I'd say if he was headed out the door, T. Murphy, he'd be out the door by now. It's a bit late to be exiting. Them's were the rumors last spring. Again, rumors. Not all rumors come to pass. Where is that list? I need to go look at the list. It's Inside Lacrosse. Was it an Inside Lacrosse list or was it something else? Inside Lacrosse. Where was the list? Was it not Inside Lacrosse? Inside Lacrosse has the top. Oh, here we are. Matt Kinnear, friend of the show. C.J. Kirsch, Chris Kavanaugh, Sean Light, Emmett Carroll, Selena 6, Billy Dwan 23, Sam English 30. I forgot that Sam English is back for another year. Michael Leo 38, Owen Hiltz 42. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be good this year. I think there's the Big East. What does the Big East do? Big 12? There's an ACC SEC challenge because both conferences are solely on ESPN TV contracts is the simple answer. And the other one's more of a Fox event.
Live with Brian Higgins. Halfway home, we drive into the second hour with Burdick BMW.
All right, rolling along here on this Thursday. Phone lines available if you'd like. 315-437-7644. I played another rousing edition of Why Me? Why You? What the heck did I name this segment? Why You? I don't need to tell you about me. Why me? I'm not giving me tickets to the game. That's why you need tickets. We gave away not 1, not 2, but 3 pairs of tickets. A holiday miracle to the Syracuse-Georgetown game. So you, winners of said tickets, can remind Georgetown that it's 5:03 on a Thursday and that they still suck. They'll need reminding at 2:30 coming up on Saturday, and then throughout the afternoon. 1:30 pregame coverage. I'll be with you on Saturday afternoon. Tim Leonard will be along for the ride postgame on Saturday. We also celebrated the fact that one Kyle McCord will be playing in the Holiday Bowls. He announced yesterday on the news on CNY Central while being charitable. He was doing Salvation Army phone calls saying he's in the bowl game. What a guy, that Kyle McCord. We'll have a bowl preview special coming up next Thursday, 2 o'clock, Q Sports Talk. Maybe Kyle McCord will be on it. Or not. Maybe. Or not. We'll see. We're still putting the thing together. We're working on it. We're efforting guests. We're putting the whole thing together to get you ready for the Holiday Bowl, to learn a little bit more about the bowl, about the opponent, Syracuse, the whole thing. 2 o'clock next Thursday, a.k.a. 1 week from today, bowl preview special, Q Sports Talk, QSportsTalk.com. With that, hour 2. It's day 4 of the portal being open, and we can't let a day pass, regardless of if anything of note has really happened or not. We will do this.
The portal is open.
Prepare ship for ludicrous speed.
Players on the move.
Scotty, beam us up fast.
Where are they going?
To infinity and beyond.
It's another edition of Portal Watch.
Ludicrous speed. Go!
The rule of Portal Watch is to always check Mike McAllister's Twitter before Portal Watch starts. All right, nothing new has happened in the last 15 minutes. Nothing new has happened here in the last 15 minutes, but it is Portal Watch Day 4. This was sort of, I think Mike broke it maybe in the chat yesterday. We maybe mentioned it yesterday during the show, but just to quickly put a bow on it, Jaden Gould, former Nebraska safety, former now Syracuse safety, became the 8th member of the Orange to pop his name in the portal officially yesterday. And still of the 8, he was number 7 was Carlos Del Rio Wilson yesterday. Marcellus Barnes is really the only one that you really saw a future with a legit role in the program of the 8 that have headed out the door. But as we look at Portal Watch here, day 4, the most interesting movement in college football today was North Carolina officially now has announced Bill Belichick as their head coach. They've also announced that his GM is literally a former NFL GM and friend of the show, Michael Lombardi. He was on back a few months ago promoting the book he had out. He was a fun guest. Now I imagine he'll be slightly busy trying to stack the roster for Belichick. So Carolina, man, they're trying to change the paradigm here. Like, we know the GM thing has become a thing. They have a former NFL GM and the all-time NFL head coach in charge there. Is it going to work? I haven't a damn clue. It could fail spectacularly. I'll say this, though. If it works, well then, that's going to change how things are done. Will we see a cutoff hoodie in the Dome next year? We just might. Is Bill Belichick aware of the air conditioning situation and it now exists? I don't know. Has he already snuck a camera inside the Dome to scout Fran Brown? Maybe. How inflated are the footballs inside the Dome? I don't know. Did you see North Carolina AD Bubba Cunningham did a cutoff suit jacket today at the presser? All right, Bubba, I get it. It sounded like this Belichick hire when we had David Hale on yesterday kind of got ramrodded down Bubba's throat, but good on him to put a smiley face on it at the whole thing today. Also in the transfer portal today, the rumors of this were bounced around yesterday. I don't know, I forget if Tim Leonard and I were just talking about this off the air or if we brought it on the air. The rumors were bouncing around yesterday. The rumors are true. Now, former Boston College quarterback Thomas Castellanos, who became the former Boston College quarterback in the third quarter of their win in Chestnut Hill, not Chapel Hill. Belichick in Chapel Hill, Boston College in Chestnut Hill. Both places coached by former New England Patriots coaches or assistants as Bill O'Brien's in Chestnut Hill. Third quarter of that game was the last time that Thomas Castellanos was quarterback for Boston College. He left that game with injury, I don't know, I did air quotes, and never got his job back and literally was not on the roster like 3 or 4 days later. And now he's going to be the next quarterback of Florida State? What? Like, he's a Florida guy. He's from Florida. He was at UCF, transferred from Central Florida to Boston College, became their quarterback last year. Electric player to watch, but he is a minuscule, tiny guy, subject to getting battered around because he's scooting and skittering all over the place. And now Florida State's answer to going 2-10? Florida State's answer to going 2-10 is bringing in the quarterback from Boston College that lost his job in the middle of a game and then left the team? I mean, who knows? Maybe they're not done at quarterback. And they just had a former 5-star quarterback who got to play a little bit, and then Luke Kromenhoek put his name in the portal out of Tallahassee. So I don't know what the heck's going on down there. And Gus Malzahn's their new offensive coordinator. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on in Tallahassee. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if we're going to look back on this Mike Norvell era as the undefeated season being the fluke or as last season being the fluke. But I don't know if we're in a middle ground it one way or another. This upcoming season is seemingly vital and necessary, a bounce back year for FSU. I got to imagine they got to be targeting other guys. It would be really peculiar in my mind if Florida State goes into next season and being like, yeah, Thomas Castellanos is our guy. He's the only guy. We're cool. That would hurt my brain. Now, Florida State, I think, has always been Castellanos' dream school, so maybe he's cool going there, battling for the job, being all right if he doesn't win it, and then being used in other ways. Like, he is a play maker. Like, if you get him on the field in ways that are not quarterback, like, that's not necessarily a bad guy to have around. But, man, if I'm FSU and you're going into the offseason being like, this is our starter, there is no option two, it just seems peculiar. Seems peculiar. But we shall see. So not a ton going on Syracuse-wise here on Portal Watch Day 4. We did know that Texas A&M's quarterback who we had eyes on is now officially off to Houston. That was announced. I think it had been rumored for a couple of days. It was announced last night. That was definitely going to be locked in and a thing. So the dreams of that, which have been out there for a few weeks with Connor Wigman maybe coming up here, and you could make the connection to Coach Robinson, Elijah Robinson, and Texas A&M, and like there was a way. But he's from Houston. He's going to Houston to play for former Tulane coach Willie Fritz. Will be starting his second year in charge of the Cougars next year. Again. People forget Houston is a power conference team. They're in the Big 12, we're out to the playoffs, whole deal. So, okay, I can see that. I can understand that, but took a potential early name off the plate. Remember, Ricky Collins from LSU visited earlier this week, expecting Caden Salter from Liberty. Not now-ish, this weekend. It was going to be later this week a couple days ago. We're now later. Where is he? Where's Caden Salter? Caden Salter had an undefeated regular season. Not this year, but last as Liberty's head coach. They made the Fiesta Bowl. We know Fran wants another Kyle McCord. That's not necessarily Salter's style, but part of what he likes about McCord, winner. Well, this guy was undefeated as a starting quarterback, admittedly against a crap schedule, but undefeated is undefeated. So we'll keep an eye on all of that stuff going forward, see where Fran Brown is at and about and scouring the portal and all of that good stuff as we continue Portal Watch here on day 4. With that, we will take a break. We'll talk some Buffalo Bills when we come back with our guy, Chris Brown. I also want to ask Chris about Belichick. He's covered the Bills for a long time. Belichick, Patriots. I don't know if you know this. They played the Bills a lot. Twice every year, in fact. So Chris's thoughts on that, I think, will be interesting as well. You know, was Belichick essentially forced out of the NFL? Not like blackballed or anything, but just knew no doors would open for him this offseason, which led to this UNC thing. Fascinating stuff. Josh Allen coming off a career game, but in his eyes, not one, because the Bills did not win as they get ready to take on the Lions this Sunday afternoon in Detroit. Back after this, Chris Brown next, talking Bills here on Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
One.
Yeah, FSU's got to bring in somebody else, San Diego Q's, right? Yes, Tronic, that is clearly the case. No follow-up questions. Yeah, I don't... Wigman's not really ever had great success. I don't know who I want out of this group. I've not really watched Salter play. Clearly, I know nothing about this LSU guy, Ricky Collins, like he hasn't played. Like last year when the McCord came up, I'm like, all right, oh, it's Ohio State's quarterback, and he just went 11-1. I know they're crapping on him there, but let's go. Let's get that guy. I don't know this year. What's going on in the YouTube chat? What's up, YouTube chat? Hughes Vegas likes Delmonico's. Back to
Back to steakhouses. Yeah, Delmonico's is good. I haven't been to Delmonico's in a hot minute. The former home of the Jim Boeheim show. I feel most of my times at Delmonico's, I would not get a steak, though. I'd get, it's an Italian steakhouse. I would get something veal related normally. Any chance McCord gets the extra year, Sam? Any chance? Sure. Like, the rumors abound. Sure, is there a chance? I don't think anything's going to come of it, but... Yeah, Gus Malzahn and Castellanos. I wouldn't be surprised if Castellanos ends up being a gadget guy there. Scotch is great. I love the like the bar area of Scotch with the fireplace and the whole thing. That's a good vibe. Yeah, do I believe more than nothing is potentially going on? Sure. But when push comes to shove, do I believe that Kyle McCord will be an NFL quarterback next year? Yes. You know, I need a fireplace, but I mean, I have a fireplace. I mean, it's a gas fireplace at home, Poppy. I have a fireplace. I'm just saying Scotch and Sirloin's bar area with a giant fireplace and the whole thing is an elite little setup there. I once almost, or I didn't almost, but I was pondering putting my fireplace on a switch I could do from my phone, but it's apparently there's a fireplace behind you? Yeah, that could be good, Jen. But then apparently there's a voltage thing where if I had done that, I would have blown the whole operation. That would have been no good.
All across CNY, it's the 315.
Oh, I missed that comment earlier, Poppy. Yes.
Children sleeping.
All right, rolling along here on this Thursday. It's a little past 5 on a Thursday, which means it's time to do what we do at this time of the week, and let's bring in our guy Chris Brown to talk some Buffalo Bills. And man, Chris, you were at just a wacky game on Sunday. Take us into this Bills-Rams game. What was that one like to be at?
Started slow. I mean, it's hard to believe it was 7-7 after one quarter the way it finished, but turned into a barn burner in the second half. Bills were down 17, had to start throwing all over the yard, scrapped the run game, and Josh popped off in a way that we have never seen him pop off before, to the tune of a hat trick of rushing touchdowns and a hat trick of passing touchdowns. And then, unfortunately, they just flat out ran out of time. I know there was a lot of scrutiny about how the end of the game went, but even if they score the touchdown on 1st and goal from the 1, don't use the timeout, you might still be onside kicking anyway. And I think the Rams were going to be aggressive there. I don't think they were going to punt. I think they were going to take a page out of Dan Campbell's book, because they were treating Josh Allen like most people treat Patrick Mahomes. Do not give him the ball back in a one-score game.
Yeah, I'd say realistically, yes. Was there a mistake probably with the timeouts there? Yes, but realistically, did it cost them the game? Probably not, because, one first down, obviously, and the game's over regardless of that point. I mean, the Josh Allen game was just ridiculous. You mentioned the touchdowns. It literally had never been done by anybody in the history of the NFL, 3-3 like that. I mean, we know the guy's good, but... man, to see him do all of those things at once, it's kind of shocking every time something like that happens.
Yeah, and he's the only person to ever do it in the regular season. We found out from NFL research that Otto Graham did it in an NFL championship game in 1954. So, yeah, regular season-wise, it's Josh. We'll give it to Otto for playoffs and championship games. You can, he's a Hall of Famer. He can have it. But, yeah, I mean... I think the most amazing thing was Josh was enormously productive, and at no point in that game did he ever look frenetic. Just so, the sugar high Josh has really disappeared from his play, and I think that's probably the most encouraging thing and the most impressive thing to me of anything that he did in that game was he was throwing passes into the tiniest of windows. The touchdown pass to Matt Collins, for example, the window is probably 18 inches by 18 inches. It's good coverage, and he just puts it on a dime. His accuracy was off the charts in that game.
You've led me. I've ended up on the 1954 NFL title game Wikipedia page, Chris. You've sent me on a wild goose chase. Yeah, Josh Allen. This is how fast Wikipedia works here. Josh Allen is now mentioned in here.
That is outstanding.
At the end. Yes. Where did it go? Legacy. At the end of this, Otto Graham's feat of passing for 3 touchdowns and rushing for 3 touchdowns in a single game wasn't repeated for 70 years until Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen did the feat in 2024. The difference of that game being Cleveland beat Detroit 56-10 because Bobby Lane got picked off 6 times. So there you go. The 2 games like that.
6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the same game. How about that?
Yeah, and you put them on different teams, and you get a 56-10 ball game. So it's how that all goes down. Obviously, that wasn't the case because, man, you look at Matt Stafford. I know Stafford's numbers weren't there with what Allen did because literally impossible. Man, he's playing really well, is he not? Like he is playing just as well, it feels like, as he's ever had now for the last 15 years.
Yeah, and he had his top 2 passing weapons in the game. Kyron Williams is healthy, and the offensive line for them is healthy. They got off to a 1-4 start, largely because they lost Nakua and Kupp, who went on IR, and half of their offensive line was on the injury list as well. They're finally healthy now, and I think you can make the argument they might be the most dangerous team in the NFC West right now, and that's a dogfight that's going to reconnoiter tonight, when the Rams and 49ers play, and the 49ers are still trying to get healthy. So these teams are going to be fighting tooth and nail to try to catch up to Seattle, who's sitting at the top of the division. But the Rams play, starting this week, each of their 3 division opponents in the last 4 weeks. So they're going to have a good look at the division title if they take care of business.
Yeah, and you look at the Rams last year, I mean, they're having almost a carbon copy season to last year, right? Like slow start, then got cooking late, made the playoffs, and then, it's just a team that, like, that game they had against Detroit last year was just a crazy game in the playoffs. Like, this is not a team, right, if you're in the NFC that you want to have to deal with. Like, they'd be playing, if they sneak in here, who knows? I guess they'd be a division champ probably in this scenario if they can catch Seattle and sneak in. They'd be playing. Who would they be playing? Probably one of the wild card teams from the Central, either the Vikings or the Packers or something. Like, you don't want to deal with this, right? If you're getting in the playoffs as one of those teams.
No, and it's really hard to stop that bootleg game that they have Stafford play. He bootlegs left and right and can hit all 3 levels of the field. And if he's got Nakua and Kupp running around, it's a problem. And I saw a stat today that said when Nakua, Kupp, and Kyron Williams are all in the lineup for Matthew Stafford, this team's 11-5. When just one of them is missing, they're under 500. So they make an enormous difference.
Yeah, and obviously they had the injuries at various points to all 3 this season. But when they start 1-4, it was both Kupp and Nakua
who are out for a chunk of those games. And who knows with the Rams, see if they can keep them all healthy going toward the playoffs. How's the Bills' health status right now, Chris, as we get ready for this Detroit game here? How many of the weapons are they going into this game with this Sunday?
Yeah, they should be better on the offensive side of the ball because Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid are full participants in practice for the first time in a month. So they're trending towards returning to the lineup, which you're going to need all the firepower you can get. I mean, yes, these are the two highest scoring teams in the league, but you're playing in Detroit's house and you may have to match score for score. So having Keon Coleman, who was really starting to become a dynamic weapon for Josh Allen before he exits the lineup with a wrist injury, it was really just horrible timing. So you hope he can get his legs back under him quickly and contribute right away. And Kincaid's missed, 4 weeks as well. So you would hope those guys can get back up to speed rather quickly, although we should note that, we had a major lake effect snowstorm here in Buffalo today, and practice had to be canceled. They could not get into the office. There was a travel ban in Orchard Park, along with some other surrounding towns. They've got over 30 inches of snow just in the last 18 hours. So practice got scrubbed today. They were meeting virtually and the so-called mental reps and such. So not what you want when you got a game of this magnitude. The other thing I should mention is while they're healthier on the offensive side, the secondary is a little beat up. Taylor Rapp and Rasul Douglas both came out of last week's game with injuries. They have not practiced yet this week. And then added today, even though the team didn't practice, they have to put out an estimation of participation. And DeMar Hamlin went from a full participant to a non-participant. So 3 members of the starting secondary not practicing right now as of Thursday. So call-ups may be happening in short order here.
Not ideal with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams on the other team that you got to deal with in Sam Laporta. I know hasn't had a great season, but was fantastic last year. Plus, you look at Detroit, and I get Amon-Ra's fantastic, and Jared Goff's had a great season. I don't know about you. I start with the 2 running backs, right, with Gibbs and Montgomery. How are the Bills looking to dealing with those 2 guys on Sunday?
Yeah, coming off a game where they clearly lost the battle at the line of scrimmage against the Rams on both sides of the ball, I think their pride was a little bit wounded. So I think they feel they have to summon it up this week and match, if not exceed, the physicality that Detroit brings into every single football game. Because if you don't, you're going to get steamrolled and embarrassed. And they were already embarrassed with their performance last week when the defensive line was sorely absent in that game. They barely got near Matthew Stafford, let alone knock him down. So I think there's going to be a far more concerted effort this week to play like we're used to seeing them playing and making sure that last week was a one-off and not a trend.
How important is this game for the Bills? It's a out-of-conference game this late in the season. Like the other side, it's a potential Super Bowl preview, right, if things go right in the playoffs for both sides. How high is this ranking for the Bills right now, given caliber of opponent, even though it's not an AFC game?
Yeah, I think the importance has ratcheted up in light of how last week's game went. It kind of refocuses everybody just a little bit more, and they get up for big games, typically, under Sean McDermott. And this is the cream of the crop in the NFC, at least right now. So I think they want to prove that they are every bit as good as the Detroit Lions. So you got to bring it, though. You can't just say it. You got to do it out there on the field, and you better do it for 60 minutes because this team will even nip you at the wire, which is what they've done to some teams the last few weeks, Packers being one of the later examples. With a decimated roster themselves, they're starting to get healthier on the defensive side of the ball. They might have 3 of their top 5 defensive linemen back this week from injury, and it looks like they might have their left tackle Taylor Decker back in the lineup too. So Lions getting healthier, Bills kind of a mixed bag, healthier on offense, maybe a little nicked on defense.
Yeah, Detroit was missing, it was something about like half their defense last week, starters or backups that legit play. So we'll see how many of them get back out there. We got Chris Brown, the voice of the Bills, with us, our weekly visit as always. I got to ask you about Belichick to Carolina. Obviously, the Bills dealt with the Patriots, twice every year. You've seen Belichick coming to Buffalo, going out there to New England for a long time. Well, what do you make of this, of the all-time NFL head coach going to the college ranks?
Yeah, I didn't think it was feasible. I couldn't see Belichick and his demeanor willing to undertake all the limitations of the college game. What is it, 20 hours of practice a week is the max, and all of this NIL stuff now, the recruiting, it's just endless. And I guess he's got a plan in place to have a full-blown recruiting staff on this side of the house, and then he's got him and his coaching staff on this side of the house, and he's just going to focus on football. I think that's easier said than done in the college ranks, especially when you are the face of the program. So I'm really curious to see how he navigates all the particulars that are involved in that. But then at the same time, you can honestly say, more than ever, college football is being treated like a pro sport. So maybe his timing is perfect. I'm very curious to see how he works and develops young talent that isn't nearly as mature as the talent that walks in the door in the NFL ranks. I think we can all agree that an 18-year-old is a lot different than dealing with a 23 or a 24-year-old. And how he navigates that as a 73-year-old man, I think is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and you see some of these Belichick, behind-the-scenes stuff when he'll take you out with this sarcastic comment. I wonder if some of these 18-year-olds will even know that they've just gotten, shredded by Belichick. Like, he might take them apart, and they've got no idea it just happened in one of these meetings.
Yeah, and I think here's the difference. More than ever, the player has power because of the transfer portal. It's like, I'm not dealing with this garbage. I'm out of here. Oh, you can't talk to me like that. I mean, there are 18-year-olds in the college ranks that have been told they're the greatest thing since sliced bread since they were 10. By the time they're 18, they believe it. And if Belichick's going to go old school on them, I don't know if it's going to fly with half the guys he gets in the door.
Yeah, I say the other interesting aspect of it is the Stephen Belichick aspect of this whole thing, that it sounds like he's likely going to be the coach in waiting and the defensive coordinator. Obviously, he had many various roles over the years for Dad with the Patriots. Like, within the Bills organization, how was Steven viewed as part of being integral to what the Pats had going on the last few years?
Yeah, I mean, kind of hard to say. We don't often ask coaches their opinion of other coaches unless it's a head coach. And usually everybody just says the right thing anyway, like, oh, we have an enormous amount of respect for blah, 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 and the program they run and the opponent, because nobody wants to put up bulletin board material. Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was just getting his feet wet with some of the roles he had with the Patriots. And then, if I have this right, wasn't he defensive coordinator at Washington this past year? So, University of Washington, I think, is where he was. And then his other son, Brian, is still with the Patriots under Gerard Mayo. So, I don't know if his other son's jumping ship and coming down to make it a family affair. I do find the coach in waiting thing super weird. I don't know. Like, college programs can change at the drop of a hat. And for North Carolina to sign up for a guy who's never been a head coach before to be groomed into the role by his dad and be convinced it's all going to work, I don't know. To me, North Carolina's on a high wire here, and they don't have a net.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, and the most fascinating part, at least from our end, is Carolina plays in the Dome next year, so we get to see the whole show breakdown sometime in person. Yeah, that game went from just like, oh, that's on the schedule to really intriguing in about an hour yesterday. So that's good news for all of us up here in Central New York. All right, Chris, good stuff as always. Hopefully you can get out of your house here at some point so you guys can make the trip.
I'm not in the snow belt, so I'm good.
Okay.
I live north of it, so I got 2 inches on the ground. My broadcast partner on our daily show, Steve Tasker, he's sitting under 3 feet right now. So that's the difference. You guys get lake effect there too, so I know you know how it works. But if you're in the band, you're doomed. If you're not, you're good.
Yeah, I got. We didn't get really hit with anything today. I think I've got to wipe off my car for like 7 seconds when we're done here. We got some flurries, but it is crazy. We're not that far away, and heck, you're getting 3 feet versus 2 inches if you're 2 miles apart from somebody. All right, man. Well, hopefully everyone can make it to the plane so you guys can go to Detroit with all the necessary parts this weekend. All right, man. Safe travels. We'll talk next week.
Take care.
All right, there he is, our guy, Chris Brown, as they get ready for, well, assuming everyone can make it to the plane, what should be a heck of a football game. 425 CBS. This is one of the weeks it looks like both CBS and Fox, they're going doubleheader. Sunday, there's 2 Monday night games. I was really hoping. I don't think they flexed a game yet this year, have they? I wouldn't have minded if this game got flexed to Sunday Night Football. Anybody out there? Like, what's up with that?
I don't even know what's on Sunday Night Football, but I know this. I would have rather watched this game on Sunday Night Football than any of the other games that might be on Sunday Night Football this week. Yeah. Can we do that? Anybody? Last second flex? Flex it. Flex it now. Sunday night. Come on. All right, with that, listen to the Bills, K-Rock, Chris Brown, whole crew this weekend. 4:25 kick in Detroit on Sunday. All right, break now. 411. We'll get Mike in here. That's next here on Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
The 315 with Brian Higgins.
Kyle McCord right now, 4,326 yards. So if Kyle McCord throws for 268 yards, he would pass Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, and Deshaun Watson.
You would season the dome
the ACC
next year.
But
yet still, will it last long enough for Belichick to be here?
Also, if he were to pass for 268 yards and stop right there, it would be the fewest yards he's passed for in any game all season.
4 to 6 on ESPN Radio Syracuse.
At QCars.com, we're putting our money on you.
Tis the season of savings at New Millennium Auto Broker. Now's the absolute best time to buy a car, truck, or...
Oh, Paulie. I blame Paulie. What is my Twitter doing right now? What is happening? Stop scrolling. Oh, that's what's happening. Don't put your headphones down on your pad of your mouse pad thing, or it'll just doom scroll forever. Guess she's not a big Bills on the Radio fan. Hey, look, it's Mike. Okay. We're wide awake.
I'm sleepy today. I haven't been sleeping well lately.
So some of the other inhabitants of my house have not been sleeping well. They don't feel good.
A lot of kids not feeling good lately.
That'll happen.
Well,
'tis the season.
My buddy's daughter is also sick. Her and his wife are sick.
That'll also do it, San Diego Q's. I'm not a big cider guy.
Really?
I mean, alcoholic cider.
Oh, yeah, me either.
Straight apple cider. I also don't like, when I'm in the apple cider business, I want it just apple cider in a cup. I don't want it warmed, mulled, alcoholic. I just want cider.
Yeah, I hate it. Like, people have this idea in their head that apple cider and cinnamon are this fantastic duo, and I think it's terrible.
I don't. And warm apple cider tastes so much better cold to warm.
Way better.
And yeah, I don't like hard ciders either. Now eggnog, I will drink it, or you can put some something in it, and I will drink it. And either way, I will enjoy my eggnog, which means I probably need to buy some eggnog.
I bought eggnog about a week ago, and I'm like halfway through it, and I've been the only one drinking it. My mom doesn't mind eggnog. My stepdad hates eggnog, so it's like more for me.
I think I need to, I think I need gas. So maybe I'll get some eggnog when I get gas. Yeah. Maybe I'll get gas and burn and get some nog. I'd probably be just shocked at what eggnog costs this year. I probably don't want to know.
I don't remember.
Yeah. The prices of eggnog, I feel, have been getting shocking the last few years.
The economy, man.
Yeah, I just don't like a hot cider, Super Cat, though I find the warmth of cider disconcerting. I prefer it cold. I could stop at Stewart's. Shout out to Stewart's. I just can't stop at Stewart's on the way home. Because Stewart's is decidedly not on the way home. It is very in a different direction. I do like Stewart's eggnog, though, Kev. Stewart's all over the place at home.
Here's Brian Higgins.
There's a fire starting in my
All right, rolled along here. Thursday. Here this hour brought to you by TVOffers.com. It's powered by Traverse Village, which still is in Cicero.
Here's the 411.
Hello, and welcome to Movie Phone.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
In the 315.
So you're going to be doing that all week, right?
Nah.
Mike's here.
Hello.
We were just breaking down eggnog.
I love eggnog, man.
As one does.
Eggnog is one of my favorite liquids.
Yeah, that's a reasonable take.
Big fan of water, too.
Water number one.
Yeah.
You're like
strong second.
Yeah,
Eggnog.
strong two eggnog.
And I'd even be going, you know what? I was going to say, what else were we talking about?
Apple cider.
Apple cider, but then at the last second, I thought of the apple Snapple. I think that might be my third favorite drink.
Apple Snapple?
Yeah. You ever had it?
Not that I recall.
Fantastic stuff.
I don't really recall the last time I've had a Snapple of any variety, but I'd say I generally go kind of basic with my Snapple and just get like the lemon iced tea Snapple if I was going to get a Snapple.
That's the Steve move.
Yeah, but usually if I'm going to get an iced tea, I'm not going to get a Snapple. I'm going to get something different.
See, I am definitely going to get a Snapple if I'm getting iced tea because I think normal basic iced tea is disgusting.
I mean, I usually need like a little lemon or a sweet or an Arnold Palmer. Like I don't need like an unsweetened iced tea. Like what's the point of that? But I just almost always, if given the option, I will pick a different brand.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that the sweet tea was created before unsweetened tea. Because if unsweetened, or vice versa.
Because I'm 100% certain unsweetened tea was created before sweet tea.
Because if there was a person in history that was
just
like, you know what
you gotta
needs?
Do.
Less sugar. They're the worst person in history.
You know how like decaf coffee, they're taking the caffeine out. No matter what with tea, you've got to put the sugar in.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I do.
Maybe
I'm certain of this one.
So you're telling me the unsweetened was first?
I'm telling you, by the nature of of how it is made, unsweetened tea had to have been first.
Is there any sugar in unsweetened tea?
No,
I didn't think so.
Because it's unsweet. It doesn't. There's no sugar in the tea.
That is why they call it unsweetened tea.
Well, that's why they call it tea. There's no sugar. Like decaffeinated coffee, you got to take the caffeine out.
Why don't they call it other teas just unsweetened tea?
Well, because now sweetened is such a thing that now you've got to let people know.
This is chaos.
Okay. I'm going to guess this is probably an exceedingly American issue.
Yeah. You know what else is chaos? Somehow Travis Hunter winning the AP College Player of the Year. Now, granted, two-way player.
I like Hunter, but Genty's season was so good.
Genty had more rushing yards than over 100 FCS teams.
I wonder, because Hunter is...
Or like, CFB teams, that's what I'm looking for.
Like, the Heisman odds are, like... Hunter's like minus 2,500 or something to win the Heisman. He's clearly won the Heisman.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a close vote. I was hoping for intrigue.
Me too, because I don't want to take anything away from Travis Hunter, because being a Division I cornerback is impressive, and being a Division I wide receiver is impressive, and he has done both of them.
No, like it's extremely impressive.
But with that being said, I think being without a doubt the best running back in the league or in the country, and debatably one of the best rushing seasons we've ever seen, I think that's more impressive than a top 10 and a top 30. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you look at strength of schedule and all that, and clearly Hunter's schedule was harder than Boise's schedule and all that. But Genty did it against anybody. He did it against Oregon. He did it against Washington State. He did it against anybody. And highlights, I mean, both highlight worthy. They are, in my mind, it is the Heisman one, too. And I'm not even necessarily saying that I
I mean, I would vote for Genty. I'm not even necessarily saying that, oh, yes, he should win. It just feels like it should be close.
Yeah, it should be very close, and it doesn't seem to be.
No, it doesn't sound like it's going to be close, and I find that disappointing. I was hoping for one where we had to be, like, legit. We haven't had a Heisman in a long time where it was like, ooh, we got to wait till they open the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, Colorado's really running away with some awards. I mean, at least offensively, with Travis Hunter taking the AP College Player of the Year. Shedeur Sanders also won Best QB Award, which I think is even wilder.
Which one did he win?
He won the Best QB.
Oh, did they already do the?
To my knowledge,
the Davey O'Brien. Did this already happen?
And to my knowledge, am I wrong?
I don't know.
Oh man,
like Kyle McCord didn't even rate being a semifinalist. I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, I thought they announced it either last night or this morning, because that was where I saw it was about like 3 hours ago. I could have been misreading it.
Hey.
But I mean, if they're picking the AP Player of the Year, I imagine they've already picked the quarterback, right? I mean,
I don't know what they did. Maybe it was the AP quarterback. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. They're ignoring Kyle McCord is what they're doing.
They really
and
are.
If they ignore Kyle McCord, watch how I make this up for not knowing what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If they ignore Kyle McCord, I will ignore them. And that's why I don't know the answer.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, that and only that.
If Kyle McCord doesn't win the Heisman, I might never watch college football again.
I'm not going that far because he's not going to win the Heisman, and I'll be watching college football again as soon as potentially Saturday.
Oh, man.
What time's the Army-Navy game?
So, everybody has already talked about today, yesterday, the day before, Bill Belichick going to be the new head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. And what I think is like the best part about this whole scenario is Bubba Cunningham, who is North Carolina's athletic director.
He is that.
They came out today in the press conference, had this really cool thing. Not only did they give Bill a cutoff hoodie, which is obviously his signature style, old Bubba came out in a cutoff suit.
It was electric. I wonder how much his suit cost that he cut off.
I'd say at least half price.
But Belichick, probably knowing Belichick, he probably got the hoodie. He was like, "That's not how I cut it off."
Well, it was kind of
ridiculous.
I wondered if he was judging Bubba because Bubba went with the full-on sleeveless. Bill is a big short sleeve.
Yeah, he takes the full hoodie. Like what's wild to me is that clearly, if you're Belichick, after doing that for 25 years as the head coach of the Patriots, whatever it was. Clearly, if they went to whomever and be like, hey, can you make Coach some short sleeve hoodies? Like, sew it up, make a little hem. They would have done it.
Yeah.
And no, he was like, no, I raggedly cut it off and I look ridiculous.
You can tell Bill's all about football, well, obviously in lacrosse, but because he could have made so much money off of a clothing line of short sleeve hoodies.
Yeah.
Like, so much money.
We were talking about this in the chat yesterday. I have one. I like a short sleeve hoodie.
I do too. I have one. I have a Warriors one.
I have one. Mine's just like, it's not a team. It's just a hoodie. But it's a great summer wear, like mornings in the summer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Or I like to...
Beach wear, good beach wear, short sleeve hoodie.
Some spring, fall temperature inside in the house when it's like not too cold but not too hot. Those are the worst times of the year, this temperature-wise in the house. Spring and fall beginnings.
That said, I bought it as a short sleeve hoodie. I did not take one of my hoodies and just chop it.
No, I have cut the sleeves off one shirt in my life, and I think I was 12.
Okay. How'd that go over?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Felt quicker, lighter.
I meant, how'd that go over when other people realized you'd been cutting up your clothes?
Oh, well, it was a very old shirt. It was a raggedy shirt, so...
All right, that's all right.
Parents were okay with it.
Oh, you didn't just you didn't get a new shirt from Mom and be like, I needed...
I wasn't like, this shirt looks good, but you know what would make it look better?
Hey, Mom, this is too many sleeves. We got to do some adjustments.
So last night, before we get out of here, one last thing. Last night, the Warriors lost a heartbreaker to the Rockets, and the real story of the show was after the game, Steve Kerr took the podium and was absolutely fuming about the ending of the game. Now, if anybody missed it, it was late.
I think we have it here. Jordan.
Oh,
yeah, Jordan had this.
Play that funky music.
I think we got this. Here we go. Here was angry Steve Kerr.
I've never seen a loose ball foul on a jump ball situation 80 feet from the basket with the game on the line. I've never seen that. That is unconscionable. I don't even understand what just happened. You know,
There's some of it. Yeah,
unconscionable.
Yeah, he kept going.
Never heard that. My favorite part is when at the end of it, to wrap it all up, he says that he doesn't even think an elementary
where's
school.
that? Is that on here? Hang on.
To finish the game. And that was taken from us by a call that I don't think an elementary school referee would have made.
Yeah, there's that. Not happy. One Steve Kerr.
That's like one of those things where everybody's thinking it, but nobody wants to say it. I just want to know how big the fine.
Yeah, what's the fine going to be? Like, because he knows the fine's coming. He just doesn't care.
That's when he thought about it the entire time. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to throw it in.
It's like, I got 4 titles.
Yeah,
Fine me. Fine me. It's still going to be less than Draymond gets total. Draymond will rack up more fines.
Warriors probably got to go fund me for fines.
Just for fines. Pay our fines. All right, we'll take a break. What's on tap next? Q Sports Talk, ESPN Radio.
What do you want for the pod? 135? Hell yeah.
That's a plan.
Go Dale.
That's a plan.
Oh, I'm tired.
You cut off the jeans to make jean shorts, made your own jorts, Phil? Yeah. Now people buy them fake pre-cut off with the pockets hanging out the bottom. That's weird. I find that weird. Are those Daisy Dukes? Yeah, I'm just saying, but are Daisy Dukes like the cutoffs like that with the pockets hanging out, or just like really short jean shorts?
I don't know.
Yeah, we got to go back to 70s TV to figure that out. Yeah, that you had a weird thing going on there. I don't know if I liked whatever happened to Mike over there. Belichick's buyout drops to $1 million after June 1, 2025? His buyout goes from $10 million to $1 million before he coaches a game? That's kind of wacky. I wonder, I'd love to see the language on this. Like, if you're Carolina, you had to get some language in there if Stephen Belichick's going to be the coach in waiting of how long the wait, like, but not before X date. Yes, Dukes of Hazzard. That's what I was attempting to come up with. Yeah. Mike had his smokes rolled up in his sleeve. It's just like the shorts today where you see the pocket hanging below the short. Like, what's going on with this? Why? What's up with this pocket? I mean in the other way, T. Murphy. Like the Hopkins wait is like, how long are we waiting? I mean, like, so, all right, say Bill gets the job and then gets like an NFL gig offered to him in like whatever, in like a year or less than a year, it bounces. Like, does he have to coach 2 seasons so his son gets the gig? 3? How many years does he need? Kevin Smith is at the center of jean short culture. Those Kevin Smith movies back in the day. Where are Jay and Silent Bob? See you, Tim. They're all good. Dogma was good. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was good. Chasing Amy was good. Clerks? Was that what it was called? Was it Clerks? What was the one where they were working at the convenience store? Clerks, yeah. Oh, that happened, T. Murphy. Hey, it's in the open. Jim's in the open. Show open for it.
Yeah, Mike's actually an extra in every 70s John Travolta movie. Little known fact.
All across CNY, it's the 315. Here's Brian Higgins.
All right, rolling along here on this Thursday as we're in the holiday spirit. We're giving away Georgetown tickets. You get tickets. You get tickets. We're like Oprah out here. You get a pair. You get a pair. You get a pair.
Here's what's on tap tonight.
What is on tap tonight? Adrian Autry's show is on tap tonight, 7 o'clock. Listen on TK, ESPN 1200 for Red. Thursday night football is also on tap tonight. You can hear that right here. That is 49ers and the Rams, an intriguingly important NFC West game tonight between the 7-6 Rams and the 6-7 very injured 49ers. What's on tap tomorrow? It's a Friday. Mario will be by with a six-pack. The man who sort of knows will sort of know some stuff. No wrong answers about Georgetown. And Patrick Stevens will be by. He covers Georgetown for the Washington Post. He's worked for Syracuse.com in the past. He does bracketology for every sport that has brackets. Patrick will be by tomorrow as well. All that when we're back here, 4 o'clock. Hughes Sports Talk, ESPN Radio.
The 315 with